The Steelers offense has had a pretty poor start to the preseason with two uninspiring performances in their two outings. But in the last game against Buffalo, rookie center Zach Frazier really had a solid game. One man's misfortune is another man's opportunity. So when previous starting center Nate Herbig went down with a torn rotator cuff, it gave Frazier the opportunity to step into the starting lineup. And he really afforded himself well against Buffalo in both the run game and the pass game. All right, so let's start with a couple clips from the run game. Here you see the Steelers. They're going to run a nicely designed trap play. I'll just scheme it up for you real quick. I really like this design. Frazier here at the center is just going to block back on this one-tech tackle. And now James Daniels is going to come and pull the three-tech, or pull and trap the three-tech, I should say. And they got a nice little influence trap going on here because Isaac Seumalo also pulls, and he's going to kick the end while Dan Moore climbs up to this backer. This play goes bad because Broderick Jones, who has to come down on that backer, can't get there. And you're going to see that backer come up and plug the hole as Jaylen Warren tries to attack the trap side, and the backer's really going to stuff him. But watch Frazier, man. Watch what a good job Frazier does. His job here is don't get beat across your face, right? He does not want this tackle to be able to play over the top of him towards the trap. So what he's got to do is be strong with his left arm. And he does exactly that. We'll run through the rep here, right? Watch him get off the ball. And now watch the finish. Drives his legs. Finish with a shove. I love the end of the play. Just keeping his hands on the defender to the whistle and then that finish with a shove. But it's really his technique work that stands out. You see right here, as I pause it, right, he's strong with his left arm. You see him pressing with his left arm to keep the nose from crossing his face, and that allows him to win the rep. And then the leg drive and the finish is the kind of stuff that's going to make every offensive line coach in the league really happy. Here's another really solid rep from Frazier. This is the wide zone play that seems like it's going to be a big feature of Arthur Smith's offense. You'll see Najee Harris on this outside zone run here start to his right and work to the outside hip of Jones. Jones is going to try to reach the edge defender here. Here's Frazier in the middle, and he's really going to be responsible for moving that one tech. James Daniels is going to chip up to the backer. Seumalo is going to try to cut off this backer. This is where this play goes wrong. Well, one of the things you see with the Steelers in their run game right now, they're successful on most of their blocks, but not all of them. And it only takes one breakdown to ruin the play. Here it's going to be right here. Dan Moore failing to be able to reach the 4-eye tackle. Moore's got to get inside this tackle and cut off his penetration. And he's not going to be able to do it. Darnell Washington going to reach here. So you're going to see all this full flow. And the rule on this type of a play is this, right? If you're Frazier and you can't reach, meaning get to the outside shoulder and control the outside shoulder of your near defender, then run him hard across the ball. And that's exactly what Frazier's going to do. He's going to run this one tech across the football in order to create a lane for Harris to cut back up into. So here we go, right, with Najee Harris, right, working right. Let me replay that again. Here we go. Right there you see the reach, and he can't control the outside shoulder, Frazier. So what's he do? He runs him and he creates a cutback lane for Harris. And had Dan Moore been able to win on his block, then you would have seen, right? Look at it right here. You see Frazier's not able to get to the outside shoulder, so he'll start to run him. But on the backside, you got to get that cutoff block. If you don't get that cutoff block, right, you're not going to be able to get this. You want this little seam up in here, and you're not going to be able to get it because Moore can't cut his man off. But I love how Frazier runs and then finishes with a little pancake block there on the tackle. He's a finisher in the run game, Zach Frazier. Where Frazier really excelled, though, was in pass protection. He had 24 pass snaps he was on the field for, gave up 0 pressures. Graded out in pass protection by PFF over 80, which is an excellent PFF grade. If you look at this rep here, this is not spectacular. There's nothing's going to happen here that's going to make you go, wow. But it's a professional rep because he understands his responsibility and he does his job. So what the Steelers are doing here is they've got a half slide on each side of the ball. So on the right side of the ball, the center, guard, and tackle are all going to slide to their right gap. So Frazier's responsible for this A gap. Daniels has got the B gap. Jones has got C. And on the backside, Seumalo's got the B gap. Moore's got the C, and then Jaylen Warren's got kind of a check. He's going to check A, and if nothing shows, then he's going to help on the edge. And if nothing comes there, then he can release out into the flat. So it's sort of a check release here for Jaylen Warren. But watch what Frazier does. This is a really smart rep because the Bills are going to run this sort of delayed loop stunt where the defensive tackle is going to press up here off of Jones's hip, and now this end's going to come all the way around. And they're going to get a little penetration here from the backside. This backside 4-eye is going to get a little penetration, but Frazier resists the temptation to come off of it, and he stays on his man. And this is smartly done because he picks up that loop stunt. Now, granted, the loop stunt doesn't show as fast as the pincher, but Frazier can't bail on this because he's going to give up penetration in the opposite A-gap. It's just a really good example of a guy who doesn't panic, and he understands his responsibility, and he executes it perfectly. Here's another pass pro rep. Same protection. Frazier and the right side of the line are all going to slide right. So you see Frazier will have the A. This is Spencer Anderson in here now at guard. He's got the B. Jones has the C. And then on the backside, you got or B and C with the guards. And now Najee Harris, he's actually just coming from the other side and picking up that A gap. And so Buffalo's going to have a little pinch stunt in here. Here comes that 3-tech tackle working down into the A gap. And Frazier's just going to stone him. Watch his base. Watch how wide his base is. And because he plays with this wide base, he's got a lot of power, and he doesn't get bull rushed. He doesn't get knocked into the backfield. A lot of young players will really struggle with their base. They give up ground. They get knocked into the backfield because they don't have a wide base. But as you see, look at Frazier's nice wide base there. You're not going to be able to drive him into the backfield because of that good leverage he's created. By the way, nice job by Russell Wilson here. A lot of people were beating up on Russell Wilson. But this is a nice professional rep by Russell Wilson when he feels this pressure right here. Not to bail, not to panic, but just kind of slide to his left, and he'll eventually find a receiver. But that's a side note. That's a conversation for another day. But then again, this is another really solid and professional rep by Zach Frazier in pass pro. Did a heck of a job with his protections on Saturday night. Okay, so where did he struggle? Frazier's a rookie. He's a second-round draft pick. He's not a top 10 pick in the draft. He's not a finished product. He's got work to do. And his biggest struggle right now is climbing to the second level to get to linebackers. And that's one of the hardest things that any offensive lineman will have to do, especially a center, because you got to snap the ball and then move. And this is the outside zone concept again, right? Again, you're going to see everybody reaching right. And here's Frazier. And he, in this scheme, because he's uncovered to his play side, he's got to get up and try and control this linebacker, either pin his outside shoulder or run him across the ball because Jaylen Warren is heading here on the outside zone run. And you're going to see Frazier's just not able to get there. He's just not going to be able to get up onto the backer fast enough, and the backer will force the inside cut. And now the pursuit gets up, right? You'd like to see Frazier take a little flatter angle, just a little bit flatter. You can see right where he is now that his path, he kind of climbed and then flattened out. I mean, ideally, you'd like to see him off the snap do a little more of that. And almost, you almost want to get him to force this backer to try to undercut the play and come underneath him. But this is going to take some time and some reps to catch up to the speed of NFL backers and learn the nuances of playing the position. So second level blocking is his big weakness. But man, everywhere else I saw Zach Frazier, I was really impressed. So an excellent start, I thought, by the Steelers rookie center. And there's a lot of exciting things for him to build on, even if the offense right now is a significant work in progress.